Surviving the Dark Side of the Moon Part 1 was an amazing episode. We met up with Astrodude after what felt like forever. We got introduced to a new human character being Cosmo, and we re-met the antagonist SAR. So with all these introductions, we are left with a lot of pressing questions. Is Cosmo evil? What has SAR been up to? And what is SAR's plan for coming to the dark side of the moon? So let's go through these questions one by one, starting with the most compelling one. Is Cosmo evil? So, in this episode, we meet Cosmo, a Soviet astronaut that has been surviving on the dark side of the moon for the last 30 years.
For the past 10 years. Nice to meet you.
Well, hold on, Cosmo. Did she just say 30 years?
During this episode, there are two scenes that beg the question of can we trust him. The first one is when he closes the doors to stop Astrodude from getting to his ship.
Oh, I gotta get to my ship!
Laika, close the exit doors now.
On it, Cosmo.
And the second is at the end, when he discovers the silicon-based organism.
Is this? Could it be? Laika,
Yes, Cosmo.
prepare the laboratory. I believe we just won the space lottery.
So, has this been an elaborate way to get the alien specimen from Astrodude or something like that? Well, no, I don't think so, because just look at his actions throughout the episode. Firstly, he finds Astrodude and looks after him for 2 months, expecting no real compensation in return, while also fixing his ship. A really cool detail about this episode that hints it's been 2 months since the crash is that at the start we can see Astrodude has a bunch of scars and injuries, but when he wakes up we can see the majority of his scars have gone, signifying that time has passed. Secondly, in that scene I showed earlier, when he stops Astrodude from getting to his ship, what happens next is that Cosmo just begrudgingly lets him go.
Now open this door!
Laika, open the doors.
As you say, Cosmo.
To me, this scene is him trying to not let the only human he has interacted with in 30 years just leave him so soon. After he and Astrodude make up, he then promises to help him get home by finishing to fix his ship.
But you, my friend, you have a family in the present. So, let's go get you home, alright?
Thank you.
Then he unexpectedly discovers the alien, where he wants to study it in a lab as he calls it the space blocker.
I believe we just won the space lottery.
At least, I think that's what he said. So I searched up this term space blocker and could not find anything that really explained what it is. If you have any ideas about this scene, leave them in the comments section below. And while you're there, don't forget to subscribe if you're enjoying this theory. Additionally, on one last note before we move on, thematically it would be weird to have Cosmo be an antagonist, as SAR, who is already established as the main antagonist to Astrodude, is already going to be in this arc. Now that we're on the topic of SAR, we might as well discuss how he appeared in the last 3 minutes of the episode and then dominated the screen, intercepting Astrodude's call, finding his location, and then heading towards the dark side of the moon alone. Before we get on to why I think he's coming to Astrodude's location, we first have to theorize what he has been up to. Last time we saw SAR was in the Terraforming Mars episodes, where we see SAR not only recruit the robots on Mars' surface, but also the robots protecting the laser. This again reinforces what we learn in Will Robots Conquer Space.
Oh my god! Are you going to assemble all the robots we've sent to space?
That's right.
So what is SAR's grand plan in recruiting all the robots? Well, that's a theory for another time. Instead, what we see in the latest episode is that for the months since Astrodude and SAR last met, SAR has been gathering more robots. Notably, in this scene, we can see that he has recruited the robots from Venus, and this other small robot which holds the key for where SAR is currently. After searching a bit, I'm pretty sure I found that it is this rover, which we can see through looking at an image of both of them side by side. This basically confirms with the landscape around them that they are also on the moon currently, as that rover was sent to the moon, which means that SAR will reach Cosmo's base pretty quickly. This neatly leads into the next mystery, which is, what is SAR's purpose of both being on the moon and coming to Astrodude's location? Well, as we now know that SAR is currently on the moon, with only one of the 7 rovers that are on the moon right now in real life, this shows us that he's most likely collecting all the moon robots. So when he realizes that Astrodude is on the dark side of the moon, presumably for a mission, there might be some robots at his location that he can recruit. It is here that I'm sure you realize what this means, as there is a robot at Astrodude's location. Cosmo's only friend for the last 30 years has been a robot called Laika.
Please, this is Laika, my best friend.
Best and only.
This means that SAR could possibly recruit Laika, setting Cosmo on a path to save his friend or get revenge on SAR, though this relies on if SAR controls the robots that join his team or if they join him willingly, which both seem to happen throughout the show. This is where we now enter complete speculation, because if SAR does acquire Laika and maybe destroy Cosmo's base, it could cause a scenario where both Cosmo and Astrodude team up for a while to put an end to SAR. So there we go, there are my theories on surviving the dark side of the moon part 1. Will they be correct? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, see ya.